Hi, everyone. Starting out good. I can't even talk. Hey, everyone. How are you doing? So nice to be back on. Sorry. Yeah, it's been a crazy last 6 weeks for me, I tell you. I'm just gonna wait until some more people get in before we start. So we'll just chit chat for a minute, see how everybody's doing. As y'all know, I've had just a wicked month. Started out great. We went to We went to Vegas. Hi, Marianne. Very beginning of May. Had such a great time. We were there for a week. Came home on a Saturday. Got all my kids out on like the Monday. Thursday, I went to the eye specialist. I ended up having to have surgery on both my eyes, like right then. And then I couldn't see properly for days. And then on the following Tuesday, I flew to Victoria to see Jade and Zara. And I got sick immediately after I got there. And I was really sick, like 2 weeks of just sick. And then as soon as I started feeling better from that, I broke my foot. I tell you. And everybody here has colds. So I'm hoping they don't give it back to me because that would just be, like the icing on the cake, right? So anyway, who's here? Hi, Linda and Marianne and Judy and Mary and Linda. I hope you all are doing really good today. We're finally getting to do chirp. And I do apologize. I tell you, after all... Yeah, I'm just so far behind because of everything. And to be honest with you, it's really hard to walk around, move around, and get things done with, hi, Linda. Hi, Marie. To get things done, hey, Deanna, when you have a broken foot, because I just, I'm supposed to use crutches and not supposed to put my foot down. Well, hi, Susan. I gotta say, that lasted like one day because I just couldn't do it. So I was on my boot. I have this big, lovely looking boot, and not the kind that you usually associate as being really cute. I love boots. Fall is my favorite season, and one of the main reasons is because I get to wear really cute boots. This is not a cute boot. This is a really bad, ugly boot. But it's just really hard to get around and do anything. And I couldn't drive. So now I actually went out yesterday in the car and I took my boot off and drove. And then when I got to where I wanted to go, I put my boot back on. Yeah, probably not supposed to do that either, but no one's keeping me down. So today we're doing chirp. Just a reminder, and I'll keep putting it up, that to renew your subscription for the subscription group, it's $50 for 5 months. So it's less than $10 a month. You get, you have the dollar stores. First place I went yesterday too. We do minimum of 4 a month. New ones, new kits. You can buy the kits. I'm actually going to start putting up just the wood surfaces so that you can also buy just the wood surfaces. I'm also hoping to sell Chris's brushes in the subscription group, and some of her stencils. So I'm going to start doing quite a bit more in the subscription group, and unfortunately less in this group. I just don't have time to really concentrate. It is really cheap, less than $10 a month, and it's exclusive to this group. I actually did get an order for something that is exclusive to the group from a lady, and I have to refund her money and tell her that it's only available to the subscription group. So, it's a really good deal, and I think everybody really enjoys the group. So we're going to be doing that. I'm also eventually going to be changing the time to mornings in the group instead of dinner time, like 5. It's like at 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to be actually changing it to mornings. Hi, Claudia, you found us. Yay. Hi, Sherry from hot Arizona. I hear it. It is wicked back east. You have the heat dome over you. Just, I don't know. We went through it last year, so I feel sorry for you guys so bad. But we should start our little chirp lesson. So again, this is the one we're doing. Chirp. So I'm going to switch this down to me. And it's so bright out today. So I'm going to just check the lighting on this. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just going to go to the group. Claudia, aren't those great to put your paint in those things? I haven't lost any. Like, they've all been, they don't get dried out. You don't get that crusty all over. So, yeah, really happy about that. Oh, you know what? Zara's been playing with my iPad. So I had to lock the screen. I'm sitting here going, why won't my screen turn? Well, that's why, because I had to lock it. There. Let's just find me here, make sure. Oh. Sorry. I want to get to Dead Paint Swimsy. Oh, here I am. Okay. Just want to make sure also that that is at the right spot. Okay, so everybody's got their kits. They all came with everything. I'm actually going to use one of the kits. I always say my studio is such a disaster, but you don't know disaster until you break your foot and you try to pack, 100 kits. Okay. I couldn't move around. So funny, ladies. I couldn't move around very much, so I just had everything spread out on the floor around my chair in my studio. I had piles of stuff all over the floor that I could just pick from, so I didn't have to keep getting up and down. Oh, silly, silly, silly. This is the one we're doing. Everybody got a variation of this for Chirp. They're so pretty. I just love these little decoupage pages. Back there. Now, the background is just a nice, easy wash. See, so you could, because I wanted to be able to see the grain through it. So, let's get our paper out. I have some new, I know, Claudia, those, and the labels are just so cute. Did you just make them and then print them out, hon? They're so cute. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I'm just trying to pull up my comments here. Come on, comments. Come on. I don't know why my comments are not coming up. Oops, I don't know what that is. My son-in-law, they're here. Jaden's are in Albania. He's from Albania, and they're playing in this soccer thingy, big Euro thing. So if anybody's husbands are watching this, the Euro, but apparently it's very popular. For some reason my comments are not coming up. I'm gonna see if I can just make this and just watch them down below. Why are my comments not coming up? Dang it. Well. Oh well. Special little pieces up there. Okay, now for the surface here, again, I just did a nice wash because I wanted to be able to see all the green and everything through there. There are several different colors that you can use on this. You can use folk art vintage white. It's a really pretty soft color. You can use folk art French vanilla. You can use deco art, warm white. I would add a little dollop of light buttermilk to it. Just to kind of give it a little bit of a, creamy tone to it, because I really like the creamy in this. I think I'm going to use, see, Hazy Moon is too yellow. I don't want too yellow, but this French vanilla is actually quite nice. So we're going to try French vanilla on here. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be just a beautiful color on here. And again, all we're doing is a wash. Sorry, once in a while I have to stand up and there goes my foot. Just going to get my vintage photo out because I want to do a little bit of distressing on it. Now you can use all sorts of things to do a wash on here. I'm just going to use, pardon me, I get these little brushes from the dollar store. They come in a packages of like 10 or something. I'm just going to use one of these. You can also spray your surface down, or you can just dilute your paint. Pardon me, I got a little frog in my throat this morning. I usually just dilute the paint. Just spray a little bit on there. Pick it up. And again, this is just a wash. I'm being really brave. I did not put my apron on. What do you think, ladies? Should we take bets on how good I do? Can someone write a comment up? I want to see if I can get them to come up. So you can see how I can see through all that. Add a little bit more. I don't want it to, be really, really stand out. So I'm just going to add until I can get a nice look to it. I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, just like wipe off some of the excess. And we're going to go around the whole thing. So I'm going to do the sides and the bottom, and then I'll do the other side. Look a little bit. I don't know if my comments, for some reason, I don't know what's going on. Tell you. Just going to come back in and see if I can find them. I've got to find how to order a game from your computer. Someone's died. Oh no! And you lost all the info? I will send it to you. Do you want me to send it all to you, Kathy? I'm just going to do the sides. I'm not too worried about the top because it's totally covered. But I want to make sure I get those sides good. And I'll just lightly take some of it off. Try it on. Thanks, Deanna, for putting that up for Kathleen. So you can see I'm just giving this a dry, but it's very, just a nice wash on it. It's going to end up looking really faded by the time we add everything to it. I love these wood houses that I got cut out. I made all these wood bird houses and out of these, but winter ones, crafts for the craft fair. Oh, couldn't even keep them in stock. I sold so many of them. Everybody just loved them. So again, better move this up. Just a nice wash, and I did it on all sides, and I'm going to do it along the bottom too. If you hear stomping and stuff, it's because Zara's upstairs having a gay old time by the sounds of it. I'm just gonna pounce a little bit on this knot here. There. I'm gonna dry this all off. Hey, Jan and Denise. Hi, Diane. Thanks, everybody, for joining me this morning. Yeah, so I think I am actually going to start doing classes in the mornings. Definitely here in Deb Paints Whimsy, but I'm also going to be, when we redo Deb Simply Rustic, I'm going to be doing in the mornings too, I think. On Thursdays. Yeah, I think a lot of people will really appreciate me selling Chris's brushes from my website because I can include them in orders, and that way they don't have to pay the extra shipping. Okay, so now you can just pick whichever side you want. It doesn't matter. But take a look, see if you want to deepen the wash at all. I think I'm going to add a little bit more on here. color that up just a little bit more. There. Gonna dry it. So whatever you're most comfortable with, if you prefer an opaque finish, I mean, you can just don't do a wash, just do the color. And again, I used full part French vanilla. You can use light buttermilk. It's practically the same for it, or you can use full part vintage white. It's a really, really pretty color. That's just for the base, or go on your wild side, right? And pick an actual color. Yeah, I think that's dried enough. I've been trying to organize this a bit more. So it's putting things away. It's also very difficult trying to clean and organize your studio with a broken foot. It's really hard doing just about most things with a broken foot. Okay. Hi, Phyllis. I just want to give this a really nice light sanding. And again, just really light. And I always use the 320 grit when I'm smoothing the surface off. It's nice and soft. Now, a lot of people will sand to knock down the grain. I don't want to knock down the grain on this. I want the grain to show through. And when I sand it, you can see just in the few spots, some of the paint came off. Yeah, I'm actually good with that because this is supposed to be quite a, kind of a shabby chic, rustic-y birdhouse. So I'm okay with that. But I also want to do these sides here, and I want them a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna use a higher grit paper just to do the sides with. I just have these little packages of a million little ones. I actually got these from Timu, the site that shall not be named. Oh, this is a good grit. This is a 120 grit. I'm going to use that, and I want to do the edges here. So you can see how I'm just getting these edges all done. I'm going to do all of them, and that way if you want to set it up anywhere, if it gets turned around, it looks good on all sides. So I've done the edges. Get rid of all those little sanding dust. Just going to put that there. I tell you, I got have a gurgle in my throat. I want to splatter this. You can see how I've splattered it. And this is with blue mist. So I'm going to do a bit of splattering with blue mist. I'm going to decoupage, and then we're going to distress it. I'm just going to get my blue mist out. Oh, I bet you it's right here. Oh, bonk. That's what I mean, trying to do anything with one foot. Might as well not have arms too. So I'm using blue mist. And I'm going to splatter this off. See, I've splattered it. Let's see if I can do this without wearing it. And again, I'm just going to use one of my denture brushes. I get these at the dollar store. They're really handy to have. I buy like 5 or 6 at a time because after a bit of splattering, they kind of get a little bent on the edges. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Anna. Denise has joined us. Everybody's doing really well today. It's sunny and beautiful here in good old Penticton. I'm splattering all around. I'm doing the edges. Not worrying about the roof line because it's going to be covered with the roof. So you can see I've just done a nice splatter over the surface. Checking to make sure I have enough. Okay. Get some of that off my finger. Tell you, I have had so much fun with Zara here, even though I was quite useless because I couldn't walk or, do half the things that I really would have liked to do. Because we usually go for walks every day and do all this. Of course, I've not been able to do that. But we made do. We made the best that we could. And in case anybody's wondering, from the subscription group, all kits have gone out. Every single kit up to date except I mailed them out Monday, so after Monday. They'll all go out the following Monday. If anybody has any questions about the subscription group, you can send me a message or email me. Okay, so now we're ready for the decoupage. And I'm going to use, I think I'm trying to decide which one I want, which side I want. I think I might use this side because all the embellishment is going to cover this knot, and that way it leaves this side just looking really nice. So I think I'm going to do that. So this is the piece of paper that I have. Now I just ripped it all around, and I try and rip it really. I move my finger back and forth so that I get a wiggle waggle in it. See, a wiggle waggle rip. Hi, Keiko. I don't know what happened. Keiko and I were messaging, and the background changed. I didn't even know what it was. It just pops up, and I'm looking at this going, oh, I don't even know what this is. I didn't put it up. I don't know how to get rid of it. So I just kind of left it, and then I find, just because I'm really not on the ball. And then, so yesterday, Keiko said, oh, this is, this is kind of distracting and hard to read what you print. So I Googled it and found out how to get rid of it. Tell you, thank the heavens for Google. Hi, Kimmy. For all those that are wondering, this is what we're doing today. We're doing our cute little birdhouse here. Little shabby chic birdhouse. I have a couple of these around my house. Just did them, each one a little bit different. Bang, can you hear the bang, bang? I tell you. I think real honest, you think there's a little elephant upstairs instead of a 15-month-old child. Now I am just using my fingernails. You can also wet this. Just run a bead of water down the side and rip it. I actually prefer ripping it when it's dry. It probably takes a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, you can see how I kind of wiggle waggle when I'm ripping so that it's a really nice uneven finish. There. And this little beauty is going to go right in here. When I shipped them, I did a fold on the bottom of each piece of paper, and you can rip the bottom right along there, and then you'll get just the perfect size. And then just very gently do the edges, and then it'll fit just perfect on here. I'm going to use Mod Podge to decoupage this on. But I'm going to get rid of this little piece of paper here. I'm just going to put this to the side because I'm going to use that blue again in a minute. I use wax paper for all my palettes and my Mod Podge. Wondering how well this breaks down in the garbage piles. I'm just going to put a little bit on here. So I'm just going to spread some of this on the surface here. And the reason that I'm doing this Mod Podge first before I distress is that when I use the Distress Oxides or the Distress Ink, if I put the Mod Podge over after I've already put it on, it removes it. So I did it first on this surface, and now I'm going to put a little bit up here on my paper. I just want to position this on really good. You can use a brayer, you can use a credit card to make sure that this is on really nice and flat. There's no wrinkles and vinkles in it. And then I'm going to take some Mod Podge and just go over this. Let's make sure that it's on really good. There. I'm going to dry this off. Hi, Chris. So you can see, isn't it pretty? It's such a pretty, pretty paper. It really doesn't take long to dry. I'm going to make sure that this getting a bubble when I dry it. And I don't want a bubble. So I'm just going to use my credit card, or I think it's a room key card, and get rid of that. I want to make sure that it's good and dry before I put the distress on. Let it cool off for a minute and make sure I don't feel any stickies before I go any further. Is there many people out in that heat dome? Is it very, I know it's really hot. Some places though, like 115 or something down there, 105, 10. We do get up over 100 here where I live in Canada, but you know, usually only 2 or 3 days in the summer does it get over 100. Okay. That's all dry. There's no stickies on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to distress this. I like to use a Distress Oxide. So this is Distress Oxide Vintage Photo, or you can use the Distress Ink. I'm going to start with the Distress Oxide and see, make sure that it's not too dark. Okay, like this. And I'm going to use one of my blending brushes just to bring some of that over into the house, you can see. Go along the bottoms. Usually like to brush it on or put it on by rubbing this stamp pad right on the piece. And if you find, so this is quite dark, and if I thought it was too dark, which I do, I think I want it a little bit lighter, I'm just going to put a little bit of water on a piece of paper towel, and it's going to remove some of that so it isn't quite so dark. I wanted it just a little softer. Okay, and I'm going to go around all the edges like that. And then with my ink blending brush, I'm going to blend them in, just into the house a little bit. You can bring it in as much or as little as you want. Yeah, supposed to get 110 tomorrow. Oh, Claudia, I hope you're hiding inside the house. I know I would be. Air conditioning. It was so, we had this horrible heat dome here in Penticton, well, Western Canada, I guess. and probably Western United States too, like, you know, Seattle and Oregon and that last year. And our pool got so hot, we couldn't even use it. It was like a hot tub. Okay, so this is our cute little chirp pattern. Now I want to just bring some of this Distress Oxide just along the edge where we've ripped this. Just to kind of blend it in, that background a bit. You don't want it to, just a white edge. You want to pull some of that in. And again, if you find you have too much, just a little bit too much right here. I'm just going to pull some of that off, but leave it on the white edge. So just check your work, see how light or how dark that you want it. I'm going to splatter this now. Shocker. Okay, I'm going to splatter this with warm white, but I also want to bring a little bit of the blue that we're putting into the bird and the birdhouse into the paper. And you can see there are little areas of blue already on the paper, but I wanted to bring in just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back to my blue mist. Oh, somebody's crying. I'm just going to use one of my ink blending brushes, pick up a little bit of the blue mist. Just work it into my brush. And then just randomly, so I'm just adding a little bit of blue here and there onto the wood part of the birdhouse and onto the paper. I don't want a lot. I'm doing it really lightly. And then I can always add a little bit more pressure if I want to. Oh. She's at that age where, what do you mean I can't have something? I asked for it. So there is the odd cry over not being able to have something. So you can see I've just added a little bit here and there of the blue. I think I can bring this down a little bit more now so we get a little bit closer of a view. And now I'm going to take, actually I'm going to get rid of this before I end up wearing it. It's our Mod Podge. And I'm going to take some warm white. Do, 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 do. And I'm going to splatter this with some warm white. What do you think, Deanna? Can we splatter? Deanna teases me. She says it's not a true Debbie machine of peace unless she gets out the splattering. I know, I always try it on my hand. Make sure it's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to splatter this. You don't have to go too crazy. I'm just adding a little bit of the white splatter. And it just kind of softens up the paper. Blends it in. If you like, you can carry a little bit of it over I wouldn't do too much, but that just gives some continuity to it. So I'm going to dry this off. Isn't that a pretty, pretty paper? I just thought it was so nice. I'm going to dry all the splatter off. Get a little bit more. There. I think that should be dry. Okay, now we're just going to take this and put this to the side for a minute. We're going to get out the bird. Now, on this birdhouse here, I used an old crow. And the reason I used it was because I didn't have any of these left. I ordered a whole bunch more, so everybody got one of these birds, and this is the bird that we're going to use because this really is the better bird for this piece. Now, you can use two different things. I'm going to use this chalk paint. This is from Decoupage, and it's chalky finish, and it is vintage. Love this color. And I'm going to use it on the bird, the roof, and the little perch for the bird. If you do not have this, you can use blue mist. You can use winter blue. If you use blue mist, you might want to just soften it up just a tiny bit with a bit of warm white. But otherwise, either of those colors will do. And then we'll just rust them up a bit. I have not put this one in a container yet, which I better do before it starts drying and I get all those ucky little pieces in it. Okay. So let's just paint this off. What is this? Okay, now the bird is done opaque. So I'm going to cover, oh, you know what I want to use? I ran out of these. I couldn't find them anywhere in Penticton Well at the dollar store. So much cheaper at the dollar store. So when I went to Victoria, I bought like 10 bags of them. And then when my son-in-law came, he brought them to me because I couldn't carry them all on the plane with everything else that I had. So I'm just gonna, actually got too much here. So I'm gonna wipe a little bit off. Way too much on my sponge, which I don't usually do, but I sure did this time. I'm just gonna wipe some of it off. There, that's better. And I'm gonna do my little perch, which everybody also got. And I did cut them for everyone, so they should be the right size. So for those of you that don't know, my kits come with everything that you need inside to paint these. All the fabric, the papers, all the embellishments. The only thing I don't normally ship over is Sweet Annie, just because I don't like to send green leafy things that have an odor over the border. I don't want all my kits to start getting searched. So I have that. And then the roof, you can see the roof is also just kind of washed on. So we're just going to wash that roof. So I'm just going to pick up a bit of paint with my brush, mix it in over here, a little bit more. You can see I just made a little of water, and I'm just going to wash this on just so we can see that grain again. I'm just washing this on, making sure I can see all that lovely grain in the wood, because this is not MDF, it's real. I think this is cedar. I'm not sure, cedar or pine. I think the roofs actually are cedar and the rest are pine. I could be wrong. And you want to do all around, under, top, all the sides of this. I'm just going to dry this off. And again, you can use blue mist, you can use winter blue. Just soften the blue mist up a little bit if you use it. Or you may decide to do different color than blue. You don't have to do blue. You can do, you know, green, red, orange, you know, take your pick. Kind of go with whatever your decor is. Thank you, Deanna. Oh, yeah, I purchased them from the papers from Temu, and just because, and the only thing I purchased from Temu, I have to say, is craft supplies. I don't purchase anything else from Temu. But I can get the cheapest, so that I can pass all the savings on to everybody else. I have beautiful papers. I get my stencils from there, stamps. There, so you can see it's all done, and it's all done nice and washed. I think I can actually come down here. Just going to dry this off. We will transfer this into one of our squeezable bottles. Now, it's a little rough right here, so I'm going to give it a little sanding, and I may have to, let's see if I want to do a little bit more on that. No, I think I'm fine. I like it. Looks quite worn, so I'm not going to add any extra paint to that after sanding it. However, I am going to sand these edges a little bit. Piece of paper towel. I'm just going to put that aside. I have the bird here. I'm just going to do one side of the bird because it's going to be flat. No one's going to see it. So I'm just going to put those two things to the side. Let's get rid of that sanding paper, that sanding dust, sorry. Back on with this bird. So I took a little bit of wax. Oh, you know what? I cleaned. Where did I put the wax? Oh, I did. Oh, I found it. Jeez, I'm good. Okay. I took a little bit of wax and I horizontally went over this bird with the wax. And then I took some white. So I'm just going to use the warm white. And I'm going to brush it on like this. Now, you can use, I'm using white, but you can use light buttermilk or bleach sand. I think I might have on the original one, I'm looking at it, used bleach sand, but I think I wanted to try it with white and see what the white looks like, and I'll tell you which one is better. Yeah, a lot of people just absolutely hate Temu, Claudia, but it works best for my ladies, so I'm using it. I think I want to add a little bit more white to this. Before I scrape it off, all we're doing is scraping this off. And I am going to sand around the edges for those that are wondering. Now I'm probably just going to sand this off to what I like instead of scrape it, just because it's quite a small area. So, ooh, still hot. And I can control this when I sand it a little bit better. There. And then I'm just going to go around these edges. And then I'll decide if I've done enough, if I want to do a little bit more. But I think that's enough. I think that bird is going to be really cute. I'm going to brush off the excess. Get rid of the dust again. Now I'm going to take these and I'm going to distress all these, and then I'm going to splatter them. So I have these 3 pieces. So this one I'm not going to distress. These 2 I am. And I'm going to use the Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. This is the lighter one. And I'm going to go around these edges with it. grab a brush. I think maybe using the brush around these edges might be a little easier than going around with this. What I like to do is I like to take a brush and a little bit of water on the brush, and I bring, you can see when I do it, it brings some of this oxide into the piece, and I just think that looks really cool. Come here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that there. I'm going to do the same thing. Actually going to pick some up right from this pad. So you can see how I've wet just a little bit of water. Really blends that in good. On here, I'm going to use my brush. And bring it up. I'm just going to distress these edges just a little bit like that. And then I think I'm going to pick up just a little bit of water on this brush. And add just a little bit of this oxide. Just brings that aging look kind of up through it a bit, but in more of a watered down way. It isn't like right in your face. So I'm just distressing around some of these edges on the inside too. You know, do you ever tip it over that way? Looks good underneath too. Okay. Then I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to splatter these with the white. The more water you use, the kind of the little bigger the splatter is, the little spots. I really splattered this little perch here, little birch perch. Okay, say that one fast, ladies. I'm going to do the underside too. Okay, now I'm going to dry this off. What are you all up to today? I'm going to Winners. Winners is like your Marshalls, I think, down there. Don't you think, Deanna? Winners is like their Marshalls. So I'm going there. Home Sense. What is Home Sense down there? I think Marshalls is your clothing side. What is their, I wonder what their Home Sense part is down in the States. Anyway, I'm going there. Yeah, I think so, yeah. I haven't really, I like hobble around the store for a little bit in my boot. got a little bit more splatter. I'm always going back and checking and making sure it's exactly the way I want it. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. Those from the States, do you all have a, so if you have like a Marshall's, is there another part of Marshall's that has like a, you know, more of a home area, you know, where you can buy, you know, home decor, I guess it is, that's attached to Marshall's? We have a lot. Our home senses are usually, well, it is here in Penticton, but a lot there are either attached to Winners or they're really close by. I think this little buddy needs a little bit more splattering. I'm going to just take him, put him over here. The roof is done. That part of the bird is done. Now this is his wing, and I wanted to bring another color kind of into this a bit. So what you can do is you just take your distressed oxide, and this is the darker one. This is more the inky kind. It's really hard with distress oxide. The distress oxide is quite light. The distress ink is dark, so I'm going to use a darker one. And I'm just going to brush this on. But I also don't want it too dark, so. This is just the wing. And I just brushed a little bit of this on, and then I'm going to splatter it. Like that. A little bit. I'll dry it and probably add a little bit more splatter to it. Yep. Ah, oh, Home Goods, that's it. Oh, Five Below. Have you ladies heard of Five Below? Does that sound like a home decor store down there? Home Goods, located right next to Marshall's. Yeah, that you can usually, that's what you can do mostly in ours too. Is they're right beside each other, usually located in the right same, you know, store. Okay. This is actually going to get put on here, but we're going to wait just a minute to do that. I'm also going to take this little button here, and I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm just going to add a little bit of this distress. Look, come here, and I'm just going to brush it on. No need to paint it. And give it a little splatter. Now we're just going to do our little chirp sign, and then we're going to, Five Below is a higher end than Dollar Tree. Oh, is it kind of, oh, it's like a dollar store, but more. Five Below is dollar store, everything is less than $5. Our Dollar Trees, well, it depends. Our Dollar Trees are actually really nice here, don't you think? Ladies, the ones that I've been into are really nice. I'm going to take a little bit of the French vanilla, and I'm just going to base coat the tag with the French vanilla. Or you can do whatever color you've done your background with. I'm going to use French vanilla. Are your Dollar Trees really nice down there, ladies? Phyllis says hers is. I find some of them are so pretty, so organized. Ours is actually really nice here. And others are not good at all. Yeah, our dollar store, has really stepped up your craft game. Ooh. You know, some stores are not cutting back on craft supplies, and then other stores are getting more. I know whenever I go into a dollar store here, which is often, everybody's buying craft stuff. So I have to get there before everybody else, so I get all the good stuff. But I have to admit, I do, instead of, I don't buy as often as I did there. I get Deb to cut more of the things. I may get something there, a surface if I like it, and then get Deb to cut it out for you guys, just so it's better quality. I'm gonna just sand around this edge. Just rough it up a little bit. Let's take the dust up. I think I'm gonna do both sides. Let's have both sides looking cute, shall we, ladies? Oh, and I'm gonna use my new brushes. Okay, my new stamp. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the Distress Oxide. Just brush it along that edge here. And then I took some of the blue. And I splattered it on. One day I'm going to make a piece that isn't so detail-oriented. I'm probably not. That's a lie. I'm probably not. I love all the little cute little details. So that's probably not going to happen. There. Now, I got, where are they? So I got these new stamps. Okay, these are clickable stamps from, these are Recollections, and I got these from Michael's here in Canada. So let's put together the word chirp. I know I need a C and I. I try to keep them an R. And a P. Oh, I saw the P somewhere right here. Oh, and a C. Did I already get a C? Yep. So C-H. I find these are a lot easier to keep together too. Okay. So we have C, H, I, R, P. Look around, ladies. If you decide to get these clickable stamps, you can get these for a lot cheaper on some sites. Let's see if this will fit. This might be a little iffy if it fits because these are quite wide apart. So I think instead of let me see. Instead of maybe mucking it up, I think I'm going to take them apart and do them that way. I'm just going to do them separate. It's one thing that's nice about these is that you can use them clickable or not clickable. Oh, I hear weed whacking. I think my husband's decided right in the middle of the class that he should go outside right in front of my window and mow the lawn. So he's weed whacking first. Sure. So isn't that nice? So you can either do them all together or you can do them separate if you feel you don't have quite enough room. And then they just click all back together, which is awesome. Can you hear the weed whacking, ladies? Oh, you can't hear them? Oh, good. It's really loud right beside me. All righty. P. Oops, let's slip the R in here. And then all the letters are back where they should be, which in my case is really good because sometimes I'm really bad at getting them all back together. Come here, you. You'd think, oh, poor Debbie. These must be really difficult to put. They're really not. They're really super easy. I don't know why I'm stumbling with this morning. Must be because of my broken foot. I swear, I think it wrecks your mind too when you're injured. Come on, click back together. There. All right. Gosh. Okay, let's put this all together now. Yay. Before we all get bored. Okay. So I'm just going to slip this all together now. So I'm going to put the birdie on. The bird goes right down here. Now you can use wood glue. I'm using wood glue on the wood parts. And then on the other parts, I'm just going to use my glue gun. And I really like to use my art glitter glue. It doesn't have glitter in it. It's just the name of it. The company, I guess. You know, some people, I don't know why I didn't end up with a pin with mine. Everybody says, oh, I got a little pin with mine to make sure that the hole stays open. I did not. Oh, I think Deb gave this to me. Maybe that's why I didn't. I'm just going to position this right like this. I'm just going to hold that on. The it up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. A little bit of glue on the wing. I'm going to take a little bit of this cheesecloth. I usually give everybody like way more than you'll ever need. And the kits are really reasonably priced. At least I think they do. You can usually buy my whole kits for what other people charge just for the wood. So I just want to rip this a little bit. Mess it up. Oops, come here. Just gonna put a little bit of that there. And the wing here. And then, of course, this is way too long. I'm just going to cut it. I like to cut it a little bit shorter, and then I just kind of rip it and pull it. I don't want it to be all even. And then I'm going to take the chirp about here, and this is our little perch, and position where I want this. So I think like that, but I'm going to glue gun this piece on. And I think I'm going to put it right here in the middle like this. And you can see I've glued the little chirp underneath it. So it'll hold our little chirp sign on. I'm going to glue the roof on. And I'm going to glue it so the back is even like this, but the front sticks out so you can see how the front is like that. I'm going to glue this baby on. There. I'm going to hold that down just for a minute. Oh, it's going to be that was a workout. It's going to be really hot here today, I think. It's supposed to go up to 30 here this weekend. So like 90, sorry. For those that are in the hundreds down there, sorry. But it's going to be hot. I think we're going to get to use our swimming pool this weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. Be Zara's first time in a pool. That's exciting. So, isn't that nice? So, because we painted both sides and finished both sides, if it flips over, it looks good. You could even, if you want, put a little saying on that if you wanted to. I'm just going to get some of these pieces. Let's see. I'm going to do this on the Bow Dabra. No, maybe I'm not. So this is Excelsior. So I gave everybody the little big blob of Excelsior. But I think I'm going to tie this right in the middle, just so that it stays together better and it's easier to glue. So I'm going to get a little piece of, I think I'll just use a little piece of raffia actually to tie it. Again, I'm just going to give it a little tie in the middle just to keep it together. Like that. I'm going to glue this on here. It's reminded me a little bit of material that they would use to build a bird's nest. Hi, Linda. And then I gave everybody some of this dry. This is sorghum grass. So I'm going to use some sorghum grass on here. I think I'm going to use a little bit of cheesecloth first, and then some sorghum grass, a little bit of cheesecloth, and then the button. See here going, where did I put? Oops, let's put that back on. Oh, here it is. So I'm just going to take a little bit of cheesecloth. So you'll notice it comes in just a long kind of strip after you separate it. So I'm going to take a bit of it. I think I'm going to fold it in half again. Just cut it. And then it'll be good for ripping any way I want. I'm just going to gather it in the middle, just with my finger. Put a little bit of glue right there. I love using cheesecloth. I think it looks so neat. So pretty. And then some sorghum. I'd have to cut it down a little bit. Don't be afraid for, and I give you, because I give everybody lots. So there's probably, but there's always too much fabric, too much, you know, everything. So don't be afraid to cut it down, fabric, rip it down, make it the size that really works for you. I'm just going to stick a little bit on here. A little bit of something, something. So I'm just going to glue some sorghum grass in here. See how pretty and whimsical that looks? And on this side, oh, I think the weed whacking is moved to the back. Call it weed whacking, I guess it's edging. He edges all the everything. We're having more company this weekend. Picked a great time to break my leg, didn't I? Or my foot. Maybe a little bit more. One little piece more maybe. I hate hearing a big bang and then a cry from a little one. Usually means somebody fell. So I'm going to take some more of the cheesecloth. Just cut it. Again, you can use as much or as little of this as you want, because you can overdo. Gather it in the middle and give it a little twist too. Put it right there. And we're just going to glue our button on. Ah, don't drop it. There. There. Isn't that just adorable? I just want to fix this wing. The little cheesecloth down here. Looks too even-y. This fiddle. So this is our little chirp all done. Looks so pretty. I better move it up a little bit so you can see. Thank you so much, Lori. Actually, use that a little bit. Something else you can do now is, so the front looks all pretty, but if you also want the back, a little bit more on the back, you can take one of your stamps. I have a lot of stamps that have sayings on them, and you can do a little stamp on the back of it. I think I'm going to grab one just to show you. Let me just hobble over here. Ouch. That's the garden one. Just seeing what stamp I have that I really like. Oh, these ones are really pretty. So this is my, this is my nature stamp set, and you can get this on my website. But it's got lots of little flowers and sayings. So I think I'm going to use one of these. Actually, that's how far behind I am. I picked up a whole bunch more stamps and everything I haven't put up yet. I think I'm going to use this one. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to use the Distress Oxide, or the Distress Ink. There, now I've got just a nice little design on the back. You can see the, you can use a saying if you want. Just adds a little bit to the back. So now the back looks all finished. Let's bring this up to me. Yes, I'll rotate. Oh, there. Ah, okay. So yeah, this is our little chirp. I will put the, untwist this, it's all twisted. I will put the link on the above the class here for those who want to get this. Again, it comes with everything you see here except the paint to make this. Comes with the paper, the bird, the sorghum, the excelsior, everything that you see here to finish this adorable little birdhouse. So yeah, so that is it for chirp. I'm gonna have to figure out that. That is it for chirp. Oh, there. Yeah, for some reason it's saying the wire in this collection is off a little bit. I don't know. I actually never get that. So it must be something a little weird here happening. Thanks everybody for joining me. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see my subscription group members tomorrow, 4:30, if you want to have a little social time on Zoom. The link is under guides, and 5 o'clock for our class tomorrow. And I'll put up what we're doing a little bit later today. Thanks everybody, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.